Ever wondered why the first 12 hours of a power failure feel like a cozy adventure? You strike a match for some candles, polish off the ice cream before it melts, and actually enjoy the break from the digital noise. It's a novelty, until the sun comes up. Suddenly the house is losing its warmth, the coffee pot is a paperweight, and your smartphone is gasping at 30%. This is the moment where the path forks. Most people falter not because of the darkness, but because they weren't ready for the exhaustion. Of the boring middle, I've been studying survival strategies since 2012, and here at l'Arwai Survivor I've realized that a crisis doesn't break you during the initial shock. It wears you down during the slow, cold hours when you're debating if you can afford to flush the toilet. We aren't talking about the end of civilization here. We're talking about a snapped power line, a blown transformer, or a winter gale that turns a 3-hour outage into a 3-day ordeal. These are real-world hurdles for regular people who just need a solid roadmap. Let's dive into what really happens when the first night ends and the true test begins. The primary trap people fall into is draining their digital lifeline. Usually the habit is to keep the screen bright, constantly refreshing news feeds or outage maps, watching that battery percentage tick towards zero. By the second day, anxiety spikes because that device isn't just for boredom anymore. It's your light, your emergency alert system, and your only link to the world. You have to pivot immediately and treat that battery as a finite precious resource. This doesn't require a total digital fast, but it does require intent. If you have portable chargers, don't top off constantly. Wait until you hit 20%. Then give it one solid boost. If you're flying solo without a power bank, you need that phone to survive 48 hours. Dim the screen to the minimum, engage low power mode, and kill the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. They're just exhausting energy searching for signals that aren't there. Stop hovering over the map. The status hasn't changed since your last look. The error isn't in using the tech, it's in using it mindlessly as if the wall outlet still worked. If you're an apartment dweller, your vehicle is your backup generator. But don't just sit there idling for hours. That's a waste of fuel and draws unnecessary attention. A quick 15-minute charge is all you need to stay in the game. The second major oversight involves your water supply. Everyone talks about water, but few actually calculate it. If you're on a city line, the taps usually keep flowing, thanks to gravity or municipal generators, but for those on a well, the silence of the power grid means the silence of your pump. No juice, no water. It's a harsh realization to have with a mouthful of toothpaste. The day two blunder is assuming that a single panicked gallon from yesterday will suffice. Between hygiene and basic cleaning, that gallon vanishes instantly. The standard rule is 1 gallon per person daily just for hydration. That doesn't account for a single flush or a scrubbed dish. If you want to maintain your sanity for 3 days, 3 gallons is the bare minimum. You don't need a basement full of barrels, but you do need a bridge. If you're on a well, the second the lights flicker, fill the tub for gray water to handle the toilets. Fill your largest stock pots for cooking and washing. Keep your drinking supply separate and sacred. If you wait until day 2 to find a solution, you're chasing a problem that's already ahead of you, likely ending in a fruitlessly expensive trip to a store with empty shelves. And remember, if there's a pet or a baby in the house, your math just doubled. Food becomes a psychological battleground faster than you'd think. Your refrigerator is a thermal vault that stays safe for about 4 hours if left shut. A packed freezer might buy you 2 days. The problem: human curiosity. We open it to check, we linger while deciding on a snack, and every time that seal breaks, you lose an hour of safety. By the second afternoon, the contents become a literal gut check. Is the milk turning? Has that chicken been sitting at 50 degrees too long? People often try to maintain their standard diet, pulling out complex ingredients only to realize they have no efficient way to heat them or clean the mess afterward. A camping stove is a game changer here, but without one, you're looking at a menu of peanut butter or the chaos grill method over a tea light. The pro move is simplicity: canned goods that can be eaten cold or heated in one pan, or simple sandwiches while the meat is still chilled. Don't be the person trying to bake a frozen pizza on a balcony grill in a snowstorm. It's not a meal, it's a tragedy. At l'Arwai your VVORI advocate for knowing your limitations before the hunger hits. If you're in a high-rise, your options are even slimmer, and day 2 is when that restriction starts to bite, when the grid goes down in the winter. The cold isn't just a nuisance, it's a catalyst for bad choices. Most modern apartments are heat sieves with thin walls and massive windows. If it's freezing outside, your indoor climate will plummet several degrees every hour. By the second morning, you're waking up in a 50-degree living room. And that's when the survival ideas start getting dangerous. Never under any circumstances bring an outdoor grill or a heater meant for, well, ventilated areas inside. Carbon monoxide is the silent thief of blackouts. No smell, no sound, just a sleep you don't wake up from. The same goes for generators on balconies too close to windows. If you lack a fireplace, your strategy is the huddle. Pick one room, seal the doors with towels, hang blankets over the windows, and stay together. Use body heat to your advantage. It's better to live in a single warm bedroom for 2 days than to freeze in a 3-bedroom apartment. Wear a beanie, you lose a massive amount of heat through your scalp. This isn't about being comfortable, it's about staying functional enough to make smart decisions. Boredom is the hidden enemy of the 72-hour mark. We are a society built on constant stimulation. When the screens go dark, the silence can be deafening. This creates a specific kind of irritability and anxiety that leads to friction with those around you. If you have children, this nothing time can lead to total meltdowns. This is why I suggest keeping a dark kit that isn't just batteries and beans. Have a deck of cards, a novel you've never opened, or a battery-powered radio. That radio provides a vital link to the outside world, offering news and music that breaks the oppressive quiet. By day 2, the adventure has worn off, and you're just tired and annoyed. This is when people break their own rules, driving through a storm just to find a hot cup of coffee, or wasting precious fuel out of pure frustration. Recognize that this mental slump is coming. Have a plan for your mind, not just your stomach. Regarding the bathroom, if you have city water, your toilet is your best friend. It functions on gravity and pressure that usually survives the outage, but for well users you get exactly 1 free flush. After that, you're looking at the bucket dump, pouring a gallon of water rapidly into the bowl to force the trap. It's messy, but it works. The mental strain of rationing flushes adds up quickly. If you didn't prep that bathtub of gray water, you'll be forced to use your drinking water for chores, which is a recipe for a crisis. Also consider your waste. If you're using disposables to save water, your trash will pile up. In a cold, dark apartment, a bag of rotting scraps in the kitchen is the last thing your morale needs. Finally, let's talk about the trap of waiting. People spend hours glued to utility updates that are at best educated guesses. When 11 odored PM becomes 60 odored AM, the disappointment feels like a betrayal. Stop looking for a rescue and start managing the gap. If you assume the lights stay off for the full 3 days, every hour they come back early is a victory. This shift in perspective keeps you from making emotional mistakes based on false hope. At L'Arroiseur Vivre, I've put together a specialized 72-hour roadmap for small homes and apartments, which you can find in the description. It's not about buying a bunker. It's about a 100 investment and 1 afternoon of thinking to ensure that when the lights go out, you aren't the one panicking in the dark. You can be the person who is calm, warm, and ready. If this breakdown helped you see the gaps in your own plan, give that like button a tap and share your own blackout experiences in the comments. Subscribe to stay prepared for whatever the grid throws at you next. Be safe and stay ready.